Thanks for staying with us. First up, thousands of NPP supporters have today hit the streets of Takoradi in a mammoth health walk organized by the governing New Patriotic Party to soar up its popularity in the region. This event is part of the build-up to the launch of the NPP's highly anticipated 2024 Manifesto Launch, which promises to focus on job creation and digitizing the economy. Our political desk reporter Samuel Imbura is live for us in Takoradi. He joins us now. Samuel, what's the energy like there in Takoradi, and what sentiments are you picking up right now?
Yeah, Daryl, if you can hear me, the health walk has come.
All right, a bit of a delay there in Takoradi. We will try and re-establish a connection with my colleague, Samuel Imbura, who is in Takoradi, where the NPP has held a mammoth health walk. It's a build-up to the launch of its party manifesto. That is tomorrow, Sunday. That event will be live here on this channel, Join News channel. We will be linking up with Samuel Imbura for the latest from over there. But as you can see, this happening today in Takoradi, the oil city. Hundreds of supporters of the New Patriotic Party gathering for a health walk there in the place. We'll be bringing you up to see, because there have been addresses from various party officials. We'll be hearing from the national youth organizer of the NPP, Mustafa Salam. That walk was led by the running mate, that's Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh. He has also been addressing the hundreds that have gathered over there. We can link up with Samuel Imbura. Imbura, so I was asking you about what the buzz is like over there and the sentiments you have been picking.
Well, Daryl, taking into consideration that the Western region plays a critical role in the determination of elections in the country, the NPP decided to select this as a spot for their health walk and the subsequent launching of the manifesto because of the electoral contribution that it can make. And I must say that the streets of Takoradi here is really electrified. The streets are done with paraphernalia of the NPP, and the people have poured out in their numbers in support of the NPP's cause.
So there have been various speakers today. The national youth organizer of the NPP, Mustafa Salam, has been reacting to a comment passed by the NDC concerning a peace in the lead up to the elections. What has he been saying?
Right, Daryl, we know that there have been conversations surrounding the peace pact. It was actually triggered by Mr. Asedin Ketia when he appeared on the PM Express with Evans Mensah. He said the NDC has not reached a decision to sign a peace pact on grounds that previous pacts have not yielded the necessary results, and we have witnessed violence in the election process. So they have not decided yet until they are convinced. And also, you remember that Brian Achampo also made some comments suggesting that they will use every means possible to win the election. This triggered a response from the NDC, which the deputy youth organizer, Malik Basintale, deputy communications officer, Malik Basintale indicated in strong terms that they were not going to allow the NPP take the elections or the outcome of the elections by force. So they are fully armed and waiting for the NPP. So in response to that, Salam Mustafa also sent a strong signal that no one can intimidate them while they are in power and going into the elections. They are for peace, but they are not going to sacrifice the elections on the altar of peace. We can listen to him addressing
we don't have
the church crowds here in Takoradi.
Yeah, Imbura, we don't have that soundbite just yet, but we know that the running mate led the health walk. That's Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh. Has he addressed the gathering over there? What's he been telling the people of the Western region?
Well, so we know that Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh has served as the education minister when the NPP assumed office, and then he was a key implementer of the free SHS policy. So Mr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh has taken on John Dramani Mahame's comments suggesting that the current government has not done well for teachers, also stating that the free SHS was their initiative and all that. Mighty Opoku Prempeh has not taken it lightly on John Mahama. He says John Mahama is trying to just lie to the people, and then after getting the votes, he would forget them. He is questioning John Mahama that if indeed he had teachers and education at heart, why didn't he supply basic learning materials such as chalk? And also, why did he cancel the teachers' allowances if he really liked or he really cared for the teachers? He also took John Mahama on the National Health Insurance Scheme. He said the NDC again peddled on truth to Ghanaians, had their way into power. When they came into office, they collapsed the National Health Insurance and many people died. He has also been defending his boss, Dr. Maitu.
All right, Samuel Imbura reporting for us from Takoradi in the Western region. I don't know if you're still on. Can you hear me, Samuel?
Daryl.
Right, and so, I mean, the big event is tomorrow when there's going to be the launch of the party's manifesto. We know that it's job-focused. Anything we're hearing about what's going to be in the manifesto launch?
Well, Dr. Maitu Opoku Prempeh has given a hint to that. He says that the NPP's priority, led by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and himself, is to provide jobs for the youth. So what I'm told is that job creation for the youth is going to feature heavily in the NPP's manifesto. Also, digitizing the economy is one of the issues that they are going to look at. Mighty Opoku Prempeh, in his speech, admitted that, yes, times are hard, but it would have been worse under John Mahama. And they are pleading on Ghanaians that they have the right antidote to improving the economic challenges that we have or we are facing currently in the country. So these are some of the issues that are likely to feature heavily among other key thematic areas that the manifesto will be touching.
All right, someone do stay with me in a bit. I have one more question for you, but I want us to listen to the running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, his address to the party supporters who thronged the health walk.
2016, now NDC for say, over one-time insurance bill. The president will say, no, also over Shabu Kena Meboa. And so over now president knows about one-time insurance. Let the past 30 who because the infant be one-time insurance will be say. Over the other day, entry power 2008, about 2009, not 10. Now hospital na Ghana for a day, na Ghana food, and na Ghana for chance. Yes, sir. Almost afraid of me. Yes, sir. For your body chayo, for your body chayo. Na Ghana for a day, who say Israel for? Yes, what? Clean. Na couple chayo kakra. Hey, they couples are for. Na couple chayo kakra. When we children na Ghana, Ghana, no more free. No one shall come with some for. That's the million kind of. And you are present before the year, make a Mr. Ghana for to a better NPP bill. And now, sir, 6 property, you're my real, you're my real fee. And I started to stay about with you, and let them way. I went there, and I drew 2016. Now, okay. Albert Baku 47. Some free assets as I had the 4 free assets as I get papa. Over 2 billion Ghana cedis for how many a day if I get free assets. Then the ref is there. Ghana Colana there because secondary school. The more have the school that trouble some money at Kwamano. Now we are sending them 25 and to be in school. 65 days to be called. Over the time there, no, there is one time as I tell you. As you shall see, over 2 billion ground for the day. Oh, so about who down by Papa will be abandoning me. And then there's one to say, October for the sea. Oh, the shots here, they were. Now, the shots here, all has over 2 billion, which means one ship. Oh, boy.
All right, the NPP running mate there, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, touting the free SHS policy. Finally, in Bura, do we have news of Dr. Bawumia? Is he already in town? And yes, we know such activities impact positively on the local economy. Tell us more.
Well, sorry for that interruption there. Yeah, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is expected to be part of the main launch of the campaign manifesto. That will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. But he had equally important engagement. That's why he wasn't around and delegated his running mate, Dr. Maito Opoku Prempeh, to come and lead this, help work ahead of the launch of the manifesto. Yes, he should be in town latest by evening to prepare towards the launch of the manifesto tomorrow.
And the impact on the local economy?
Can you say that again?
The impact of this party manifesto launch in the oil city, how is that impacting the local economy? All right, not too sure Samuel Mbura can hear me there, but thank you so much for the update. Political desk reporter Samuel Mbura live from Takoradi for us. And as we've been saying, we will be bringing you this live here on this network tomorrow, just around this time when we expect the party manifesto launch to happen. Now, NDC flag bearer John Mahama is urging the Electoral Commission to expedite processes to make available the provisional voters register ahead of this exhibition exercise. Speaking on the final day of his tour of the Volta region, he pointed out that the Commission had requested parties to submit their external drives for the register in July, but has since failed to deliver it. He says as of Friday evening, political parties were still waiting for the register. Maxwell Gbagba is in the Volta region for us.
On the last day of his tour, the NDC flag bearer visited the Central Tong, South Tong, Keta, and Anglo constituencies. Key amongst his message for the people was the 24-hour economy, a promise to put in place mechanism to enhance trade between the people of the Volta region and Togo, the setting up of a National Women's Development Bank, and many others.
I want to draw the attention of the Electoral Commission. In July, they asked all political parties to bring their hard drives so that they could give us a copy of the provisional voters register. The exhibition of the register starts in 4 days. We should have received those provisional registers by now so that we can help our members to check if their names are there. They have asked us to come today for the hard drives with the provisional register. I'm calling on the Electoral Commission to make sure that we get the hard drives with the provisional registers today so that we can send them to the constituencies and let our executives start helping our people to check and make sure their names are there.
He says persons who have misused funds related to the Keta Port project will be held accountable after investigations if he is elected. Speaking in the Keta constituency where the Keta Port project is located, he said the government has taken $8 million from dividends declared by the Meridian Port Services deal the NDC government spearheaded, and has earmarked that for the construction of an administration block for the Keta Port project, saying persons found to have misused funds will be made to account if NDC is elected.
From Meridian Port Services. And we commissioned them to build a new harbour. So they went and borrowed their own money and came and built the harbour for us. Gapoha is a partner to MPS. And so Gapoha receives dividends or a share of the profits from the new port. Since that port was built, Gapoha has earned almost $200 million from the new port. First, they took $70 million of that money and went and put it into Bankra Port. $70 million of Gapoha's profit from the port that they said Mahama had sold. They took it and went and put it in Bankra Port. Now they've taken another $8 million and said they're coming to build administration block for Keta Port. When we come, we're going to audit Keta Port. We're going to investigate it. Anybody who has chopped money there, we'll hold them accountable. Atiglinyi has to go back to the bush. It has caused enough distraction to Ghana already. We don't need it in town. We need Atiglinyi back in the bush.
During an interaction in the fishing community of Anglo-Afiadenyigba, John Mahama was installed a development chief.
This is the first step towards the Flagstaff House on 7th January 2025. This is the Afiadenyigba sword, and it will become the Ghana sword. Thank you very much. And markets are one of the things that we are prioritizing. During our time in office, we built a lot of markets across the length and breadth of this country because we know that markets stimulate economic activity. And so, Togbe, your request is in order. We will take note of it, and by the grace of God, when we come into office, we shall execute and make sure that you get your heart's desire. Togbiga, the lagoon is a source of livelihood for our people. For many years, we've been asking that the lagoon should be dredged and a canal opened so that the seawater can come into the lagoon to promote the livelihood of our fishermen and all those who live by the lagoon. And Togbiga is one of the requests that has been made since I came into the Anglo-Keta area. And so we have taken note of it, and by the grace of God, if God smiles on us, and I know he's going to do, if the people of Ghana vote for us and we come into office, we'll look at improving the lagoon so that the livelihoods of our people will be protected. The next NDC government is going to concentrate on jobs, jobs, and jobs. Our 24-hour economic policy is meant to stimulate the economy. It's meant to assist business people and manufacturers to extend their working hours so that they can employ more young people to work. And this is a policy we're going to implement. It is not a one-night event or a one-day event. It will take a lot of work. We have to link the 24-hour economy to increase exports. And that is why I've said that I will personally chair an accelerated export development program so that we can create a market in the whole of Africa to export Ghanaian goods to other countries and bring income to our people.
This is your election headquarters. We've got some more political stories for you. My opponent is running away from his own party records and preaching skirt and blouse. Those are the words of Joseph Akwete Tete, who is MP for Kpone Katamanso constituency, as he criticizes his main opponent in the upcoming elections, the NPP's William Ofosu-Asante, for lacking a clear message on his plans for the constituency. Mr. Akwete Tete launched the accusation during a cleanup exercise organized by the NDC's Committee 25 branch ahead of the constituency's campaign launch. Carlos Kaloni reports.
The cleanup exercise organized by chairman of the Zion City branch of the NDC in Kpone Katamanso constituency, King Dairos Akolache, aims to strengthen internal party unity ahead of the constituency's campaign launch. Speaking to the media, MP and NDC candidate Joseph Akwete Tete accused his opponent, the NPP's William Ofosu-Asante, of lacking a clear agenda, relying instead on divisive rhetoric.
My opponent has already failed because he's going around telling the people to vote skirt and blouse. He has lost faith in his own presidential candidate. And so he's going around telling the people to vote for him because he can work with John Mahama. So it's not somebody that we should take serious at all. Instead of him to go around and tell the people what they should do or what he is coming to do because this campaign is going to be based on issues. He's rather going around preaching skirt and blouse against his own presidential candidate. In fact, I've heard a lot of some of this report from Kubekro and Santo and other areas. And another one too is that he went to Assemblies of God Church and telling the people that John Mahama attends Assemblies of God Church, so they should vote for him. He's also Assembly of God Church member, so they should vote for him. How can you go and do this? He doesn't have a message at all. That's all he's preaching. That's why he's preaching. He's also running away from the records of his own government.
Mr. Kpone also criticized the Minister of Roads for ignoring resident concerns about poor road conditions in NDC strongholds in spite of numerous lobbying.
When it comes to road issues, in fact, the government has made it clear. The minister has made it clear that if you are an opposition MP, as for lobby, when you come, he will not listen to you. In fact, he stated that it will never happen. The opposition MP will come to him as a minister for road to come and lobby for roads in their area. So we've done whatever we can do concerning lobbying, concerning asking questions on the floor of Parliament and what have you. The whole thing is that they are just refusing to develop NDC strongholds. So we appeal to our people to change this government because it's NDC that has the people at heart.
Some party executives assert their readiness to challenge the NPP, dismissing the idea of experimenting with NPP's presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
I want him to know that he's just learning a driver. He's not yet a driver. He's even not having a license. I don't think any reasonable person will want to entrust his life into an unqualified driver to drive him. We don't try. We can't try with our life. It's life we are talking about here. It is the life of Ghanaians we are talking about here. So we can't try with life. There's nothing to replace life if it is lost.
We are not looking at winning the election alone, but we want to give these people a serious run for their money. We beat them in the last election with a very good gap, but this time we want to increase that gap. That is what is giving us all this strength at this moment. So we are not having any sleepless night at all, but we are rather ready to increase our vote come December 7 general elections.
We here in Kpone Katamanso constituency, we have an MP that is well known, an MP who has done a lot for the people.
Poor road infrastructure remains a top issue for voters in Kpone Katamanso, who are eager for a party to address their concerns. For Joy News, Carlos Kaloni, Tema Community 25.
Well, let's bring in the NPP's William Ofosu-Asante, who is running to be MP for Kpone Katamanso. Good afternoon to you. So what's your reaction to your opponent's claim that you lack a clear message for the people of the constituency?
Yes, thank you very much, my brother. And then a good afternoon to your viewers and listeners. I have been smiling and laughing the whole time. This is an MP who says the campaign of 2024 is going to be issue-based, and I had expected, of course, viewers would have expected to hear more from him in respect of what he has done. He is going to account for his mandate for the last 4 years, and that is what we should be interrogating. You talk about William Asante going ahead to campaign skirt and blouse. Who says that? You know, the NDC style of, propaganda, lies, and rumor peddling, this is so outdated and outmoded. And that is the reason why the constituency has never developed, because we have leaders like himself who don't care about the welfare, the well-being of the people. All he cares about is that similarly, the people think the constituency is the preserve of the NDC. So he will go to sleep, ride in his V8, and then 4 years come, he would be out there. This man has not been on the grounds. Ask him for strict proof to give you an evidence whatsoever where William Asante said any of the things that I cannot repeat. And you see, it's not just about throwing lies out there. This is a very big constituency. Over 600,000 lives are at stake. And you have a joker of an MP out there throwing plain lies, unfiltered lies, and we are excited about it.
Yeah,
the constituency of Kpone Katamanso is in leadership crisis. You can't have a constituency of over 600,000 people, no road, nothing. And we have had MPs. Under this NPP administration, I say it with dignity and with pride, the Nanado administration, though we have not enjoyed from the votes of the Kpone Katamanso constituency, the government
under the leadership of Nanado, His Excellency, and Baumia, have done so well for us. Adenta Road is under construction, Duakari, multiple lanes. Afienya, the Akosumo stretch is under construction, multiple lanes. The Aflao stretch is under construction, multiple lanes. There is drip. If I wouldn't want to associate myself with this government, then which government will I associate myself with? Is it the government that gave us dust and debts that I should associate myself with? This is a classical case of a disaster of an MP. Because the people are fed up. It is his own NDC people who are talking skirt and blouse because they have lost faith in him. They've lost track. And he's nothing but disaster. But clear definition of a disaster that we have on our hands as a leader.
An NDC stronghold. I mean, what are your chances, do you think, in winning the seat?
So you see, these are the problem that I have had over the years. This is not the NDC stronghold. It so happened that linearly they have voted, or we have voted for the NDC. But it should move away from who has it as a stronghold. It should rather be centered and based on what the people deserve. We don't have a leader. We don't have a representation. And the MP is all excited about politicking and propaganda, rumor peddling, falsehood, plain lies. This is something that all of us, well-meaning Ghanaians, should be worried and concerned about. And if this is the style of the NDC, then I'm sorry. That draws the line between the NPP and the NDC. Look at how His Excellency Baumia is busy talking about plans and, strategies to turn around the country. And all that the NDC does is to throw everything to the wind, keep sloganeering. I see him, digging the pit or digging the gutter. 4 years ago, where was he? For the past 4 years, what was he doing? Sleeping? This is the only MP who is complaining. None of his MPs are complaining. What, is he the only opposition MP? Katamanso has voted for the NDC for 32 years. If you think that what I'm saying, judge us by the facts on the ground. Come to Katamanso, and then I will tell you that 16 years MPP, 16 years NDC. So it's not the problem of the central administration. It's a problem of the one that we have elected to represent all of us. He is our problem. He is the disaster I'm talking about.
You haven't said what your chances are. Well, finally, I want to know what would you be doing differently if you're elected MP of the area? What issues are you seeking to tackle?
So we have started talking. The first thing is that we are tackling our roads. And thanks to the NPP and Dr. Baumia, the drip project has come and then the machines have started trickling in. We are tackling the inner roads. Since I started talking, even as a candidate, we've seen attention to us. We are tackling our water problem. We're also looking at the personnel development because we have the larger population being youth. So we're looking at skills development and personnel development and opportunity creation. So it is the people that are at the center of it. And if you talk about my chances, it is the people that are calling for William Ofosu Asante. It is not myself imposing, me imposing myself on the people, but the people calling for William Ofosu Asante to come to the rescue. And this is a revolution in the constituency.
I just want to throw this in because your presidential candidate, Dr. Baumia, will be tomorrow launching the NPP's manifesto in the Western region. What's the anticipation? What are your expectations? And do you have any idea what's in the manifesto?
No, I am not in the position to, as it were, divulge any other information because it will be coming from His Excellency, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. But this clearly tells you that the NPP is serious about business of, leadership in this country. And so personally, I'm expecting something to touch the lives of the youths because we constitute the vast majority of the people. I'll be there myself, to be part of the team. This is the leader that is giving hope to us. Things generally are difficult, but we are expectant that the man, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, if you know him personally, you would attest to it that he means well for the people. It is not just about a man who has had to go, be sacked by the Ghanaians, having to come back because he desires to be president again. It goes beyond personal ambition. It's about the soul and body of the country. And that is what I'm expecting the leadership of the NPP to outline tomorrow, God willing.
NPP Parliamentary candidate for Kpone Katamanso, William Ofosu Asante, thank you so much for talking to us here on Joy Newsroom. All the best with your campaign. Well, turning to another constituency, the Agona East constituency, where the MP for the area, Queen Poko Asoya, is raising concerns about what she describes as a deliberate neglect of developmental projects in that constituency. According to her, a rural electrification project started by the John Mahama administration has been left unattended to for the past 8 years, leaving many communities in the constituency without electricity within that period. She made the comments at an event to cut sod and commission community centers. There's more in the following report.
The people in the central region say they feel neglected by the government as most of their communities have been left in darkness as a result of the abandonment of the rural electrification project for the past 8 years. The Member of Parliament for the constituency, Queensta Pokuasoa, said the government deliberately left the project unattended to.
Since NDC lost in 2016, nothing has been done about electricity. They haven't extended anything, and once NDC started and we lost power in 2016, they haven't continued. I've followed it up, I've gone everywhere. I mean, I've gone to Honorable Napo, I've gone everywhere. I can mention all names of all the directors at Ministry of Energy. They will tell you tomorrow this, tomorrow that.
Abraham Kojo Inkum is a member of assembly for one of the communities. He says residents struggle to go about their daily activities due to the absence of electricity.
But when you go to those places, life must go on. So they are using mobile phones, they are using Android phones. So what we tell them is that government have to come to their aid. The problem is they don't have places to charge their phone. They go to other places, and one way or the other, their phones will get missing.
She called on the government to fix the project to connect the communities in darkness.
They want to do it about a month or two to December 7th elections, God willing. But my people, I know them. They know I brought the poles, I did the wiring, I did everything to the extent that we put the transformer. So I don't think the fact that they would come and switch it on will do anything different in this community.
The MP also cut sod for the construction of a community centre for the Aguna Oseidu community and also commissioned a community centre for the Aguna Keyako community.
Turning next to what appears to be a looming food crisis, the prolonged lack of rain has left farms parched and crops withered. As farmers struggle to salvage their dwindling harvest, the impact is already telling on food availability and prices. Martina Bugui has captured the situation in the northern region in the following report.
It's been over a month since the last rain in the northern region. Right behind me is a maize farm. To my right is an okra farm. The plants here are withering. They haven't had rains, therefore they're drying up. This has been the state in the northern region. Several acres of farmlands are drying up because there are no rains.
Jesli Namasi is a smallholder farmer. He spends about 7,000 on his 5-acre farm, but fears there will be nothing to harvest.
It really is pathetic because after the tractor came to plow and I put the condemn, then I saw just a slight rain came and the maize started germinating, and since then we didn't receive any rain anymore.
Climate change expert and lecturer at the Tamale Technical University, Smith Wayo Mahama, explains what the region is currently witnessing. He says if the rains come, they may not be enough for crops to yield, leading to food insecurity.
There are changes in the atmospheric circulation patterns, which is leading to a stalling of storm tracks. And this stall of storm tracks occur when the patterns or when the path of storms driven by jet streams become stationary or slow in movement. And the consequence are things such as drought or heat waves. So for the past month or two now, the absence of rain in the city of Tamale and its environs could be tied or associated to this issue of changes in atmospheric circulation patterns.
The news team visited the Kpone market to assess prices of yam, considering that it's in season, but the prices have doubled.
The drought has actually impacted negatively on the yam business. Last year, we were selling the smaller size at 20 Ghana cedis, and the next to it was 30 Ghana cedis and 50 Ghana cedis. But because of the drought this season, the prices ranges from 50 cedis and above.
For Joy News, Martina Bugri reporting.
Ghana generated, produced and shared over 20,000 child sexually exploitative materials in 2022, with 64.54% of children facing risks on the internet. That's according to the Cybersecurity Authority, following a survey conducted by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the United Nations Children's Fund. We'll bring you details after this break. Welcome back to the news. Ghana generated, produced and shared over 20,000 child sexually exploitative materials in 2022, with 64.54% of children facing risks on the internet. That's according to the Cybersecurity Authority, following a survey conducted by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the United Nations Children's Fund. Despite the worrying statistics, the authority is optimistic of a downward trend as it begins a national advocacy and awareness through a challenge for senior high schools. Here's more in this report.
There are growing concerns over the increased misuse of the internet to promote illicit activities, especially ones that present unhealthy consequences on the young generation. The Cybersecurity Authority, through its annual Cybersecurity Challenge, is promoting cyber safety and awareness among high school students. The competition provides students with practical experiences in identifying, preventing and mitigating digital threats, especially online child sexual exploitation and abuse. Henrietta Asamoah is the lead for the Child Online Protection Division of the Cybersecurity Authority.
And the Cybersecurity Authority had a survey in the year 2022, and we noticed that over 64.54% of children face risk on the internet, and so it was part of the reasons why we decided to expand our reach so that we would cover almost all the schools in Ghana. That's why we came up with this challenge, and Ghana has been zoned into 4. We have the middle zone, the southern zone, the northern zone, as well as the eastern zone. So today's contest was for the middle zone.
The theme for this year's edition is empowering young minds, creating opportunities, promoting a safer digital Ghana. Ashanti Regional PRO of the Ghana Education Service, Henry Osiakoto, highlights the situation in the region.
We have a lot of cases concerning these social media usage, and most of the time when the counselors deal with a student, they find out that they were ignorant about what they were doing. So this cybersecurity challenge is something that will help them to understand, and therefore will be able to use the social media effectively.
7 schools from the Ashanti region participated in the regional challenge, which saw Prempeh College representing the region in the Middle Zone Challenge. The schools slagged it out with 5 other regional champions, including Brekum SHS, Sewakes Girls SHS, Kintampo SHS from the 3 Bono and Ahafo regions, and Western North Seshibekwai SHS. The schools were quizzed on the child online protection provisions and the Cybersecurity Art 2020, digital footprint, social engineering, and open source intelligence. Sewakes Girls SHS from the Ahafo region emerged winners of the Middle Zone.
The journey through cybersecurity has really helped me a lot. Not I alone, my colleagues and I, including the school as a whole. It has helped me in so many ways, as in being safe online. That is, I've learned a lot. Some are not posting things anyhow, email links and things.
For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has commissioned Phase 3 of the Upper East Regional Hospital Rehabilitation Project in Bolgatanga, marking a significant milestone in the region's healthcare infrastructure development. The The newly commissioned phase includes, among other things, accommodation for hospital staff, an accident and emergency unit, and a mortuary, all newly equipped. Correspondent Albert Sorry reports.
The Upper East Regional Hospital Rehabilitation Project is a $52 million project that received funding support from the Saudi Arabian government. The contract was awarded to Saud Consult through a competitive bidding process, and the rehabilitation was done in 3 phases, which progressed through successive governments. Phase 1 was initiated in 2008 under the Kufuor government, followed by Phase 2 in 2015 under the Mahama administration. This third phase is a 4-story building that includes pediatric wards, male and female wards, an accident and emergency unit, a modern mortuary block, accommodation for doctors, a relative hostel, and a medical gas building, all complete with state-of-the-art equipment. Additionally, the project features a comprehensive fence wall, a state-of-the-art kitchen, a central sterile services department, and a laundry facility. Commissioning the project, President Nana Akufo-Addo said over the years the hospital had been undergoing multiple expansion works to befit its status and meet the growing health needs of the people of the Upper East region.
Whilst the project initially faced funding challenges that threatened to limit its scope, government through the Ministry of Health again successfully secured yet another $20 million United States dollars from the Saudi Fund for Development. This funding, totaling some $52 million United States dollars, ensure the completion of Phase 3 of the Bolgatanga Regional Hospital project, covering several critical areas.
The President also emphasized the government's commitment to improving healthcare infrastructure and services across the country.
We want to ensure the nation that we act without bias or discrimination. This edifice we're commissioning is situated in a region that has historically not supported the political objectives of our party, the New Patriotic Party, which has, however, not prevented us from giving strong support to its development and completion. We will continue to work hard to ensure that the benefits of progress reach every corner of our nation.
Minister of Health, Dr. Bernard Okoboy, revealed that talks were ongoing to further expand the Bolgatanga Hospital.
Until this Phase 3 was completed by your government, if you experience a stroke in the Upper East region and a doctor wants to know what kind of stroke you have, you might have to travel from the Upper East region all the way to Tamale to take a CT scan so that the doctor can know what to do with you. The presence of a CT scan now in the Upper East Regional Hospital is enough to save lives here and to avoid needless trips to Tamale in the northern region. Talks with the Saudi Fund for Development would continue to ensure that we are able to build a maternity complex, a surgical unit, and a burn center in the nearest future in this particular hospital.
Upper East Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Sali said the commissioning of the third phase of the Bolgatanga Hospital Rehabilitation Project opens a new chapter in the region's healthcare delivery system and assured that the hospital will be well maintained. For Joy News, Albert Sorry, Bolgatanga.
And before we go, the House of Miracle Ministries Worldwide, under the leadership of Prophet Samson Amoateng, celebrated its annual Family and Friends Gift Day with a powerful message centered on love, generosity, and activating one's power to receive. The event held at the HOM Auditorium saw an outpouring of kindness as members, visitors, and persons living with disability received over 400 bags of rice, cooking oil, while some men received suits from Prophet Samson Amoateng. There's more in this report.
In his sermon, the prophet emphasized the importance of loving one another and extending kindness to the less fortunate. He reminded the church that true giving goes beyond what one can receive in return. Explaining the prophetic significance of the service to Joy News, Prophet Amoatin referenced Matthew chapter 2 verses 11, where the wise men gave the baby Jesus gifts of gold, frankincense, adding that for most Christians, their level of giving does not match their receiving. It is okay to receive as a Christian.
The idea is to activate prophetically the power of what receiving. Normally we quote the scripture that given shall be given back unto you. So many people have given every day, giving, but their giving ability is greater or bigger than their receiving ability. So what we are doing as a church is to also activate the power for them to know that receiving too is not bad. You know, normally people think when you are receiving is bad to no, receiving. Jesus was the first person who received, you know, from the wise men.
On why giving at House of Miracle Ministries has always included those described as vulnerable in society, Prophet Amoatin touched on how the Bible teaches extensively about the virtue of giving.
Human love is but a shadow of God's love. And according to 1 John chapter 4, verse 16, God is love. God loves strangers. God loves the needy. God loves orphans. God loves the widows. And if we say we are Christians and we love God, then it's our obligation. You know, nowadays people love people, only the people who can give back to them. They love friends who can, you know, also love them back. All these things are not what we call true love.
The Family and Friends Gift Day is an annual tradition at House of Miracles Ministries where members come together to celebrate their faith and extend their love to the broader community. As House of Miracle Ministries continues to grow under Prophet Samson Amoatin's leadership, the church remains committed to its mission of spreading love, hope and support to all, especially the less fortunate. You are too needed to be wasted.
And on that note of kindness, we end the news here on Joy News. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com. And remember to keep it here tomorrow as we bring you live coverage of the NPP Manifesto Launch. My name is Kpone. Thanks for watching.